stars, for the first time that I can remember, the Daily Mail has an article about Harry and Meghan that's positive. It's almost astonished and admiring. Exclusive! Inside Harry and Meghan's trip to Jamaica as Sussex's court Hollywood power brokers, how they flew in on Paramount Jet and stayed at luxury resort that costs up to $4,300 near studio CEO's home. The Duke made a beeline for Rita Marley, 77, who is in poor health and in a wheelchair. The widow of reggae legend Bob Marley praised Prince Harry's rebellious spirit and described him as fearless after the Duke and Duchess of Sussex waded into a political firestorm by cozying up to Jamaica's anti-royalist prime minister at the premiere of a new biopic about her husband. Mail Online can reveal the Duke made a beeline for Rita Marley, 77, and her wheelchair and gallantly kissed her hand shortly before the One Love film began. Charming. Her daughter Stephanie, 49, said, "She, my mother, is fond of Harry and loves his spirit as well as his rebellion against the status quo. She likes that he seems fearless and stands up for what he believes is right." The Sussexes were criticized for posing on the red carpet alongside Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who was accused of ambushing Prince William and wife Kate during a state visit in 2022, when he told them his country would be moving on from the British monarchy. That is just, it's a set of sneaky and wild little ideas in there, right? You really think a colony, people who are colonized want to stay colonized forever, handing over tax money to people who honestly looked like they didn't want to be touched by or near the people they were visiting on that, Caribbean tour. Tell me I'm wrong. Let's have that discussion, right? And the idea that the widow of Bob Marley likes Harry's spirit and his rebellion against the status quo and being fearless. You have to be fearless in this life unless you're going to let people walk all over you and make you do things for them and withstand abuse with the attitude that you can't possibly walk away, right? We know what this template of abuse is. It's called narcissism. And, that there are these long articles and so much critique over, a simple, few days in Jamaica. Who wouldn't spend a few days in Jamaica? Move on from the British monarchy is right. If only they could move on from the World Bank and all that debt, right? There's different ways that globalism keeps poorer countries, especially former colonies, locked into these austerity measures and repayment schedules that are built to prevent independence, right? If there's anything that Harry and Meghan stand for, it's independence. As painful and scary and fear-inducing as it might be. The former British colony gained independence in 1962, but retained the king as head of state, something Mr. Holness has vowed to end by 2025. So how are they independent if the king is still the head of state? How does the money work? How does the taxes work? How can they be in debt to the World Bank? If the king is the head of state, then the king should pay their debts, just like the king should pay Kate Middleton's family's debts, so people can stop attacking her and her family for owing all that money. She did her job, right? Three children, an heir, and 2 spares. You can't... Anyway, I think that King Charles should take care of that, but Mrs. Marley first met Harry during his visit to Jamaica for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee in 2012, and the pair have stayed in regular touch, with the Duke sending her personal gifts. Charming. It's understood only a handful of high-ranking Jamaican officials were aware of the trip, which was paid for by film studio Paramount Pictures. Take that, Angela Levin. The night before last Tuesday's premiere, Sources on the island say the Sussexes spent the night at the five-star Half Moon Resort in Montego Bay, where four-bedroom villas are $4,300 a night. The Mail has been told Harry and Meghan stayed in the upscale Eclipse section of the property, which has its own private beach, swimming cove, and security, making it exclusive even within the opulent resort. Lovely. I've only stayed at like Dragon Bay and some private houses in Port Antonio, but it's glorious, right? You can visit the places where, Ian Fleming and different, like, kind of stars of cinema and writers and different people who've spent time in Jamaica, because you can still see the contours of the original island, even though I guess by now the blue hole in Port Antonio has been built over. But the food is amazing. Previous guests have included the Kennedy family and royals, including King Charles and the late Queen. From there, the group moved to Kingston, where on Tuesday daytime they enjoyed a private tour of the Bob Marley Museum. Bob Marley Group lawyer Leisha Gay Taylor said the group spent an hour inside the exhibition. It was not Harry's first time here, and they definitely enjoyed it, she said. The tour was conducted by one of the longest-serving guides at the museum, Ricky Chaplin, who has a role in the movie playing Marley's spiritual guide, Mortimer Plano. After Tuesday's premiere, Harry and Meghan joined 60 revelers at an after-party at the five-star Terra Nova Hotel in Kingston. Sources say the Sussexes were in high spirits and appeared relaxed as they enjoyed cocktails, yay, at the bar, which was closed to other guests. The Sussexes had flown nearly 2,500 miles from their home in Montecito to Montego Bay last Sunday aboard a private Gulfstream 4 jet chartered by the film company last weekend. Paramount CEO Brian Robbins and his fashion designer Tracy are friends of the couple and own a $17 million weekend home in Montecito, a stone's throw from the Sussexes' 16-bathroom mansion. Mr. Robbins, a former child star, also owns a $25 million home in Beverly Hills and is considered one of Hollywood's most powerful men. A source said Brian bought his first house in Montecito from Ellen DeGeneres, who is close to Harry and Meghan. Montecito is a small town, and everyone knows each other. Tracy is a doll, a wonderful woman who is down to earth despite having so much wealth and privilege. She's incredibly sweet. Ironically, Paramount owns the Comedy Central channel, which aired the brutal South Park episode which mocked Harry and Meghan for their, quote, worldwide privacy tour. The couple's closeness to Paramount head Mr. Robbins, coupled with Harry's appearance at last week's Living Legends of Aviation Awards alongside Amazon boss Jeff Bezos, has prompted speculation they may be seeking other outlets for when their $100 million deal with Netflix runs out next year. A source said it's no coincidence that Prince Harry has been with two of Hollywood's major power brokers within the past 2 weeks. Everyone knows the Netflix deal is coming to an end, and Harry and Meghan have big bills to pay. They knew this trip to Jamaica would play well with the audience they are trying to appeal to, which is young and diverse. I don't think they give a damn what the Brits think. This is all about building their brand. I disagree with that read. If you live in LA and you are a person of means, there are certain circles socially you're going to move in. And again, Brian Robbins has the second of 2 black wives, and I think that's a much more prominent and significant reason why you would want, another fun couple that is cool and has, young children, that is in the business, and it's just sort of cool, and it's kind of a promotional opportunity all around. We wouldn't be talking about this One Love premiere quite as much if Harry and Meghan hadn't stepped on the scene. And if it leads to opportunities for them, well, that's how the business works. I hate to break it to you. There aren't any dusty old books of who's descended from whom that don't acknowledge whether you have any aptitude or talent for whatever projects you're up to, right?